Coach P. Koffe Brown and the DFG Publishing House family presents She Chose Him and Screwed Me, 9 Reasons for Her Decision, a brand new anthology project by 9 incredible women. They share with you their reasons as to why they would date one and choose to be married to another. Order your copy today from your favorite author or simply go to www.dfgpublishingtoday.com.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome into this week's edition of The Hot Seat. I am Coach P. Koffe Brown here in the great state of Texas by way of H-Town. And we have an incredible segment for you on tonight. So as you guys are tuning in and coming in, our panelists will be sharing the live stream with their platforms. You guys can go ahead and share that to your platforms on Facebook. If you actually go to my page, you will actually see the live stream there, and you'll be able to share it to your community. So good evening as everybody's coming in. Welcome in LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and also Twitter communities to our live stream show on tonight. This is The Hot Seat, and we're super excited to be hanging out with you guys. So welcome in, everybody, as you're coming in. Say hello. You can leave a comment in the chat. Let us know that you're here. Instagram, we are waving at you, letting you guys know that we appreciate you guys hanging out with us for tonight's show. So we're going to get right into the thick of things. As you can see, we have an incredible panel in the building on tonight. And so we're going to go ahead and get right into the thick of things. We're usually here for 60 minutes to 90 minutes maximum on Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. And we are fired up about this conversation tonight. WIIFM. What's in it for me? Tell the truth. Why do you really want to be in a relationship? So before we actually went live, we started discussing it, and Effie was talking about her husband's history and the fact that he knew about course content about this very same subject. And then, of course, Coach Chandra and myself were piggybacking off that conversation in our pre-show. Like, yeah, this is nothing new, although people don't talk about it, and it should be talked about. But everything is WIIFM. What's in it for me? Everybody wants to know how they're going to benefit from every single relationship we have, regardless of if it's a platonic friendship, romantic, business, all the like. We want to know what's in it for us. And if we're honest, we need to be sharing this information when it comes in relationships. But unfortunately, this is not being shared. Hence, the reason why we have so many dissolved relationships is because people are not coming in honest, trying to find out the truth about what's in it for them, what's going to be the benefit of them being in a partnership with you. So we're going to go around real quickly and do a 30-second or less intro, and we're going to get this party started. And for those of you on stage with us tonight that are in Clubhouse, you can definitely come on and hang out on the stage in Clubhouse as well. The community is starting to come in for the segment tonight. So you guys can hop into the Clubhouse room if you have another device that you can do so with. But we're going to go ahead and get the party started. We got some couples in the building. We got some single folks in the building. And of course, we have a troublemaker. I'm not going to call any names at this time, but you'll find out who that troublemaker is very soon in the broadcast. So we're going to get started with Dr. and Mrs. Woods in the building. Go ahead, do your intro. Let these folks know who you are. 30 seconds or less. Hit it, Adrian.
There you go. I'm saying, what's good, Mr. Doc? I brought my lovely, dynamic, wonderful, gorgeous spouse with me tonight. She's not gonna keep me shut, so let's get busy.
Extra. Extra. Jason Tibnibs is in the building. Jason, what's good?
Oh, nothing much. Brought my damn self to the meeting. How about that? No, I'm just looking forward to having a good time here. We're gonna do what we do.
Again, extra. Right. Yeah. You brought
Mr. Pratchett over there laughing at me.
You brought your ham and cheese self to the building? Okay.
Well, I mean, I got threatened, you was like, you're gonna be on the show tonight. And I was kind of like, yes, ma'am,
Jason, that's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. But we're not gonna argue about it tonight because people do that. People come on the show acting like they don't want to be here. fronting and carrying on. But to Mitchell gonna deal with that later on. But anyway, Chris, to Mitchell, it's on y'all.
Hi, my name is Tim Mitchell. I am just here, nonprofit owner, wife, mother, real estate agent, trying to do it all at one time, and now an added author because we have such a great leader, Miss Koffe. So
yeah, I was told to be here.
That's right. Wait a minute. Hold on.
I don't think I had a question mark behind. Listen.
Wait a minute. Is that our famous first couple of authors? International best-selling couple? Is that the first couple?
Right here.
Watch yourself now. Now show some snap claps for our first international best-selling husband and wife team in the building. Real talk.
All due to you. Thank you so much.
Listen here, celebrities in the building. Effie, international's best-selling author, speaker, and whatnot. James, retired military, salute to service. Thank you for your service to our nation. We appreciate you. You guys go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, again, I'm Effie. As Koffe said, I am an international speaker, a 3-time best-selling author. I am a master resilience coach, and this is my husband, James.
How you guys doing? I'm James, retired 20 years in the military, a master resilience certifier, Lean Six Sigma black belt. Got a couple degrees, masters, bachelors. Thank you guys. Pleasure to be here.
He did a little something. He did a little something. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying.
He's so modest. He's modest. He's a minister, and he's working on his 4th master's degree. He's so modest.
My Lord, with the master ministries. My God. Go ahead on now. Dr. Chandra in the building. What's going on, Doc Coach?
You know, this is a hard group to follow. My goodness, it's gonna be hot tonight. But I am Chandra Deneen, also known as Coach Shandi. I'm an author, speaker, podcast host, all the things similar to what everyone else has said. Excited to be here on your platform tonight. Looking forward to the conversation.
That's what's up. Fellow Scorp in the building, my brother from another Mr. and Mrs. Bruce Oliver.
What's up, everybody? I'm gonna act a fool tonight. I just seen my man come on. I just seen my man Robert pop on. I'm gonna act a whole fool tonight, Koffe.
Listen here.
But
the doors of the church are open.
My name is Bruce Oliver. Let's see, I'm 53 years old. I live in Oxon Hill, Maryland, at the National Harbor. I own a small real estate holdings company. That's the fancy way of saying I flip houses. And I am a certified life coach, relationship coach, and let's see what else I do. I work with men in men's group every week on a regular basis, just trying to bring some healing to the world. Pause.
That's what's up. What's going on, Robert Lee? You're tardy to the party. You came to the church early.
Yeah, I came in a little early. I was just trying to check, make sure everything's all right. Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Robert.
To the church early, and then you left the sanctuary. I was like, where's Robert?
Hey, my name is Robert Lee. I'm a community activist. I love our community. I love our people. I'm just like my brother Bruce. There's just different things that I do. I do things on YouTube. I speak publicly. Just want, like my brother Bruce says, just trying to bring some healing to our community, trying to get our family structure back together, because that's one of the things we truly need in our community right now, because our family structure is torn apart. So Koffe's platform and all of us here, this is what we need to talk about to bring our community back together.
Awesome. Well, welcome everybody on the platform tonight. We're going to dive right into the conversation. And we are going to start with Effie and James tonight. Ironically, when I told Effie about this, Effie was like, "You trying to get people in trouble?" I said, "No, I ain't. Not me. Not Koffe. Not I." But no, seriously, this is a great conversation, and we're going to go ahead and get right into it. One thing that I understand very clearly is that we have to be very honest when it comes to relationships. In order for our relationships to have strong foundations and to withstand the test of time, we need to learn how to be very transparent, very fluid, and honest about why we even want to be with the person we're saying we want to be with. Is it because you don't have enough income? Is it for status? Is it for just the simple fact that you enjoy the pleasure of physically expressing yourself with that person? Is it for legacy building? Is it for the connection with their actual family? Do you find value in their family? You want to be a part of that type of dynamic. You didn't have that type of dynamic growing up. You want that dynamic. So many different things, but people are not honest about WIIFM. What is in it for me? What am I going to get in exchange for what I'm willing to give in this relationship? People come in and they want to take, but they never really are honest about why they want to take or why they want this particular person. What's in it for me? Effie and James, we're going to yield over to you to start out because Mr. James, we christened him. This is his first time ever on the show. So we're going to yield the mic over to you and Effie. So what are your thoughts about this? What's in it for me? Why? What's the truth about really wanting to be in a relationship?
Well, I think the key thing is it's exactly what you said, the honesty portion. And I think, going in a relationship, most people aren't honest with themselves because they don't know themselves. And so we go into relationships looking for other people to bring something into them, but we don't know what we want in the relationship. And so we look for other people to bring something to them, and we're not really sure what we're looking for. And so in a relationship, we want person to bring them pleasure. We want them to bring financial stability. We want them to bring peace. We want them to bring all of these other things. And we're looking for that other person to bring, if you will, the missing link to what we think we're missing or the other half of something. And so we go into the relationship asking what's in it for me, because we think that the other person is the complete half of the missing aspect of me, if you will. And so that's why we ask the question, what's in it for me? How does the other person complete me for us to be a whole or a complete unit?
Yeah. And I, as we've discussed, think you need to be a whole within yourself to create a whole unit. And I feel like working on yourself is a progress every day. You continually work on yourself, and you may not ever feel completely whole, but you have to know what you feel, how you feel, what you're willing to accept, be able to set those boundaries, be able to master your resilience to get through life's disruptions just alone. And when you're able to do that, then when you come together with someone else, you can come together as whole as you can be, and you as a unit can be a whole unit. But I think people look for trying to make, well, I can be halfway there, and then if I get with someone else, I will be comfortable. Many times we're not comfortable. Again, social media plays a lot in this part where we're not comfortable where we are because we feel like we need to be, if someone else is doing a whole bunch of things in social media that it looks like they're doing so many things, we think, oh, I need to be doing this. I have learned personally, I don't need to be at the level that someone is. I just need to be at the level that's comfortable for me, that I feel comfortable with, that I'm happy with, that it brings me peace, that I feel like I'm completed with me being where I need to be, and then having that capacity to grow. And many of us are not there. We are thinking, okay, well, I need to get here, and then I will be okay to be in a relationship. And even being in a relationship, you need to know that you need to compromise. Compromising is so important. That is an important aspect. You can, I know James and I struggled with, this is both our second marriage. He was married for 20 years. I was married for 10, but was with the person for 20 years. And so we were both situated, and we were very fixed on you know, this is what we will accept, this is what we won't accept. However, we married two different people. And so what you accept with your first wife, that's fine because she accepted that. But that may not be what I accept. And I also had to realize that for him as well, that it may not be what he accepts from me. So just being clear on who you are, setting those boundaries, then we can cultivate a relationship and be a whole in a relationship.
That's good. One thing that you were talking about when it comes to social media, and we're going to head over to Chandra on this one. Social media is, man, I feel like cussing right now, but I ain't going to do it. Social media is a lot of lies. Truth be told, it's a lot of lies. People have such strong deception when it comes to social media, and they have these lifestyles that make it seem like they're doing this, that, and the other. People are wearing other people's shoes, taking pictures, driving other people's cars, taking pictures, at other people's houses, taking pictures, and so on and so forth to make it appear that they have all this, that, and the third. But if you actually follow them home to the address where they pay bills, their life is nothing like what they're depicting inside of those social platforms. Nothing like what they're depicting. And it's unfortunate because that's another what's in it for me. What's in it for me to look this particular way so I can attract all of this attention, which is all false attention because people are believing that you're somebody that you're clearly not at all. You have none of the things that you have on. You live nowhere near the pictures that you take, and so on and so forth. And the unfortunate part about it is people are buying these things on social media in hopes to have a relationship with said person, single person. Hypothetically, it's a single guy. He looks like he got all this stuff together, when in fact that is nowhere near who he is. So, Chandra, what is going on with the what's in it for me? Why aren't people okay with their life? What is going on in our society now where we feel like we have to be somebody else in order to even attract attention at all?
Well, social media has definitely created a lifestyle of comparison. And we all know comparison is the thief of all joy, that you get absolutely nowhere comparing yourself to someone else. And I often say to people, you know, social media, you get glimpses of the best 5% of another person's life. So you're taking their best 5% and comparing 100% of your life to their best 5%. And when you do that, it will cause you to attempt to create a reality based on someone else's false perception or you know, like you said, Koffe, a created moment that we'll see in social media. And we've seen all of the different ways. You know, I saw one meme where they took a picture that looked like they were sitting on an airplane looking out of a window when they were actually like sitting in the bathroom and caught, you know, it was just the weirdest thing. But in saying that, people would have thought that person, oh, they're traveling, they're doing this, they're doing that, when actually they were at their house sitting in their bathroom. So social media has caused us to take our lives and just make it's one big comparison. And when we start talking about what's in it for me, and we were talking about this pre-show, I had never even considered what's in it for me, had never heard it before my work experience. And they sent us through a training. I worked in adult education and vocational trade school. And one of the things that we taught in our sales department was to help prospects understand what they are going to take away. How can they maximize the benefits and minimize the cost of what's going on? So we were actually trying, it became a communication style that we use to communicate with our students. I never took that and applied it to a relationship until divorce came around and I entered the dating world again and understood that, oh my gosh, this is an exchange. It's a constant exchange. What am I going to give to get? What are they going to give to get? You know, people are summing you up. They're looking at, you know, social media sometimes and Am I going to be able to afford that person? Am I going to be able to attract that person? Am I going to be able to keep up with that person? Because social media and social platforms allows us to create this perception that is not reality at all times. And then another person is watching that and saying, okay, you know, what am I going to get out of that? Is it going to be beneficial to me? Am I going to be able to maximize the opportunity and maximize the benefits? So social media has definitely played a part in what's in it for me by creating sometimes a false reality.
And all that affording somebody that can't afford what they're showing themselves is a whole
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Bruce, we're going to head over to you, Bruce. What's going on with the what's in it for me? Why can't people come to the table truthful and honest, understanding and knowing, hey, you got to have something in it for you? Why can't we just be honest about that?
I believe that we are a broken people, that our consciousness is broken. We are traumatized. There's a thing called epigenetics, where trauma can be passed down from generation to generation. We have not taken the time to fully examine the trauma we experienced once we were first brought to this country. The types of trauma and things that was given to the people that were brought to this country in the transatlantic slave trade takes about 17 generations to come up out of. Takes about 17 generations to heal. And I think that we're about maybe 4 or 5 generations out of slavery now. So we have our degrees, we have our education. It's a thermometer on this platform right now. You have lots of degrees, a high education, but the internal trauma hasn't been addressed. It hasn't been addressed as a collective in our houses of worship, and 9 out of 10 it hasn't been addressed or researched or sought after as individuals. So we don't think that there's any problems that come from that dynamic that affects our lives now. So we need that type of validation because we have such a broken consciousness. We need validation from other people. Sometimes it's to make us feel like people. I'll pause right there.
To Mitchell and Chris, piggyback for me.
I look at it like I harp on old school values and how, we didn't have social media. We couldn't really be fake. We couldn't really show off stuff like that we didn't have. Because wasn't nobody for to drive over nobody's house, take a picture, then go get it developed at Eckers and then take it back and then post it on. It wasn't nothing to post it on. Right. But I think a lot of the values are lost. And, you got a lot of people, as Brother Bruce said, they still damaged. I mean, you got this crack epidemic that happened, a lot of missing parents. These kids needed love. They needed something, so a lot of them turned to, I need attention. Now you got it. Social media highlights everything, so you can lie on there. You don't have to bring nothing up front. You don't even know your own value. You don't know your own worth. So it's like, how do you know that in somebody else? You don't even know what's in it for you. All you trying to bring is some, some weak gain and some sexual advances, and that's pretty much it right now.
Yeah. I think that social media now is the barometer for people to really even define what's in it for them, because you have people living their lives by memes and different things that they see, and now they have really just kind of made up in their minds that, hey, this is what I want, but it's not based off of what they actually want. It's based off of what they've been influenced by. And so a lot of times you don't really honestly know what you really want. And people don't understand this too. Your wants change over the years. They're going to change. So it's like, there's different things. What I wanted when we first got married is not really what I want now. You know what I mean? Or need. What you think you really need is very vastly different the more you get older and the more you grow. So I think that people are really missing that, is that they're stuck in this one little time frame of this is what I need from this person. But as you get older, those things really start to change, you know. So that's kind of, you know, my take on what happens when people can't really define, you know, what's in it for them. Because it's like, I want to say Miss Deneen said, they don't know them either. You know, and I think Effie said that as well. So, yeah.
But you know, that's something interesting that you brought up, because a lot of people are missing a big component of human existence, and that's thinking forward. People are so inundated with this right now moment that they forget about what's going to happen 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line. And they don't consider and contemplate the entire broad perspective of humanity. Ironically, a couple weeks ago, a friend of mine and I, we were talking about relationships, and we were going to work out, and she said she was going to exercise. I said, hey, I'm getting ready to go hit the weights and do some stuff, right? And she said, what's the deal with guys who don't exercise and don't take care of themselves? And then you talk to them and they say, well, I'm on high blood pressure medicine. I got this going, I got that going. And I said, I'm not gonna be nobody's nurse, not intentionally. I don't have a degree in nursing. Never, I love medicine, but you know, I dropped out of medical school. Obviously, it wasn't for me, praise God. And I said, I'm not gonna be able to do nursing ministry. That's not my assignment. That's not what I want to do. Not intentionally. Now we know things happen, life happens, whatever. But starting out the starter gate, well, what's in it for me? Health is wealth. So, you know, running up on somebody who was just choosing not to be healthy, that's not gonna be the assignment. I understand the assignment. And when you start thinking about forward thinking and you're at the cusp of heading towards middle age, your brain is thinking, it should be thinking, well, if this dude is 42 and he's not taking care of himself now, that's gonna be a decline. That's not gonna be an incline. I think I'm gonna take 200 and just pass go on that one and get out of jail free, because that's a sound like a sentence. I don't want to have a sentence for a relationship, not intentionally. Again, the operative word here is intentionally, and that's another concept of what's in it for me, because people are not going to be honest and forthcoming and say, hey, I got this situation going on, I got that situation going on, this is where I am medically, this is where I am professionally, this is where I am in my personal journey, so on and so forth. And people forget about the forward concept of what's getting ready to transpire in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and so on and so forth. So you're going to be creating a life with a person. You have to think about tomorrow, not just today. I'm talking about the far tomorrow. I'm talking about projecting those decades. How is that going to look based on what you're presenting today? Of course, our past doesn't have to dictate our future. Nonetheless, our patterns today will definitely have an effect on what tomorrow is going to look like. So I'm going to head over to Robert Lee on that one. And then we're going to head over to the Doc, Lady Woods, and then Jason Thibodeau. So Robert Lee, what's going on? What's in it for me? Why aren't we being forthcoming? Why can't we be honest about the fact that we want something in exchange for what we're given?
Well, just like you said today, in my opinion, what's really going on, why people, what is it in it for me? It's a mask that everybody's wearing. Today, everybody's looking for a come up, because like you said, a lot of us don't know who we are, don't know where we're going. We really don't have anything in place for us. So whenever, what is it in it for me? I want to see what's on your wagon, so I can sit next to you and I can ride off of your wagon, because whatever's on your wagon gonna make me look good. It's gonna give me some sort of purpose in life. It's gonna give me some sort of direction in my life. I'm gonna ride off of your coattail for a while. We don't want to be honest with each other, because what we're afraid of is rejection. We don't want people to, okay, if I be honest with you about what's going on in my life, You might reject me. You might not like me. You might not want me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend. I'm not going to have a real life. I'm not going to put forth any kind of work to build myself up. Like you were saying about men working out. A lot of these men that don't want to work out, don't want to give their health up, they really have given up on life. So what they're looking for, and even though you said it you were serious about it, but it is funny. Some men have decided that I need someone like mama to take care of me. That's what I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a woman. I'm going to try to find a nursemaid because I'm not going to do anything in life. I haven't been doing anything in life. But a lot of times with us men, the reason why we can't find that one for us, we don't have a direction. We don't have a purpose. We don't have a vision. We don't have a plan. And we get frustrated. So what we start doing, we start telling lies. We try to make ourselves look bigger. Like you said, on social media, we try to put an image out here like I really got it going on, but I really don't, because I'm not happy with myself as an individual. So I have to lie. I have to put on the front to get somebody to give me attention. And then what happens is when the person finds the real me, the mask comes off. Now I'm frustrated. I start blaming. Well, you didn't believe in me. You didn't trust me. You negative toward me. You this, you don't, you ain't got nothing going on. That's just the truth. So when people say that about, what is it in it for me? What they looking for is a come up. They don't really have anything to offer anybody, whether it's a male or whether it's a female. And I leave it there.
It's funny that you mentioned that, but I'll tell y'all, has anybody seen, I'm about to act up. Has anybody seen Noel Jones's proposal to Loretta? Did y'all hear what he was saying about somebody take care and all that? As prominent as he is,
I didn't.
Made that statement. Who hopped in? Go ahead, whoever that was.
Oh no, what I was about to say was I heard about it. They had been together for like 30 years or something, and he finally proposed. I believe so.
And
I didn't hear the commentary.
It was the wackest proposal I think I've ever heard in my whole human existence.
Yes, ma'am.
It was terrible. But it was funny because he was talking about, he made mention, like what Robert Lee just said, about somebody being there to take care of him when he get old and da-da-da-da-da. And all I could do was think to myself, well, all of the years that you could have given, they're gone. They're gone, completely gone. And now you're on the other side of, hey, I mean, listen, all of us have a expiration date. It is what it is. And I just looked at that and I thought to myself, what's in it for me? I'm thinking to myself when I saw that about her, Miss Loretta, and I'll let you hop in, Chandra. I was thinking to myself, what is in it for her that she waited and gave that many years to someone waiting for a marriage proposal? Go ahead, lady.
Yeah, on that note, and that was exactly what I was going to pick up on. That proposal was more about her accepting that. What did that say about her in the what's in it for me? Was she even thinking along those lines? Had she even put herself in a position to be able to think that way? Or had that been erased from all of those years? I think it was something like 28 years.
28 years, yeah.
Crazy amount of time that they had been together. And then here he is, and even in his proposal, and you said it, he pretty much said what he was looking for, someone that could take care of him because he has, less years in front of him than he does behind him. So that acceptance to me in the topic of what we're talking about tonight was definitely, did she think about that? Has she thought about that? And it spoke more about her than him in her acceptance of that.
Yeah, for real. Doc and Mrs. Woods, stop. Listen, let's just
hold on. We ain't been doing that. We might have all been
let's just keep it a buck. No, let's just keep it a buck. What's in it for you?
First of all, we've been married so damn long, I don't even remember what's in it for me. Do you know what's in it for me? She gonna make me a snack when we get off here. This is what I want. Can I get a sandwich or something?
Yeah, you can get a sandwich. But him getting a sandwich is gonna spend cuddle time with me later on.
Why
So,
we gotta cuddle?
Because I made you a sandwich.
Best 5 minutes of your life.
Okay, there we go.
Like, but for real, you got to think about this. I'm listening to y'all, and maybe I just been married for too dang long, but I'm like 42, and Sandra takes care of my medicine. She know where my socks and drawers are. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do this for myself anymore. I can. She left for the weekend. Guess what happened? I took care of myself. I think some people, you can do it by yourself. She looking at me. I can.
Yeah, you can.
I was good.
You were.
You know what I'm saying? But I choose not to. You know what I'm saying? Because how do you feel? What's in it for you? Because you call me a big ass baby.
What's in it for me, for him, is that he's always supportive and he's motivated, which I never got that when I was younger. Like, my parents been together, but actually separated. My dad was a truck driver and my mom was just raising me. So anytime I wanted to do something, she would be like, no, you can't do that, or don't go and do that. I had a strict mom. She didn't let me do anything.
Nothing. She still hates my guts.
So she never really supported me on some of the things, but some things she did. So he always motivates me, and that's what I love about him. It's like, no matter what I want to do, he said, hey, you can do it. Go for it.
Y'all talking about this whack proposal. You don't know what they do outside. You don't know what they do on a regular basis. There's something, she knows him. So when he gave this whack proposal, she knows him. So this is what she was probably expecting. It's like Sandra knows I'm gonna come on here and say something stupid every time. We all know what I'm about to say. We know.
You don't say nothing stupid. You never ever say anything stupid,
I'm
Angel.
act the fool every dang time I come open my mouth. Look at her just looking at me. She just loves me anyway. And I think people don't get that, right? So sometimes you don't know what they bring to the table, right? I know what I need in my life. I don't know what that man needed. I don't know what the next man needed. I hated being married at first. It sucked. It sucked. I was like, man, this woman always telling me I gotta be home and can't hang out with my friends no more. You know what I'm saying?
Because I felt like you just brought me from my mom to a whole nother state.
I saved you.
Don't just say me. No. I wanted to meet you. But you brought me to a place where you still wanted to be single when you were
It wasn't
married.
being single.
So
I was at 20-something. I'm gonna say she might be able to hang out with my homeboys.
You should. But the thing I'm gonna say that I'm proud of you on is that you readjusted your life for me, and you started to include me, especially when I expressed how I felt.
Because when you expressed it, I wanted to be with you. But then around 26, being married was dope. I'm saying I came home to a meal. I came home to clean clothes. When I was by myself, I got none of that. It was just me. And so I think sometimes you want somebody to ride out with you into the sunset. Like you said, we got a limited time on earth. Do I want to just sit here be single because of some problem I got, some inner turmoil I'm dealing with? Or can I compromise and have somebody ride with me, you know what I'm saying, and take care of me like I take care of her? You some sugar.
Tiffany, what's on you? Them two lovebirds. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Man, they over there sucking up to each other.
They sucking face and Karen. No, she gonna make him a sandwich. He gonna cuddle with her.
Later, you know what I'm saying?
Compromise.
Baby,
Y'all
you
can be
gonna
like
make me
this
a
too. Y'all can
sandwich
be like this
as
too.
long as you cuddle with me. I will cuddle with you. But that was only 5 minutes of your life.
Yeah.
You only get 5 minutes to cuddle. You know what I'm saying? That's what they over there doing right now. See, I'm an actor. See, I didn't say that earlier.
Y'all don't hate. It's the best 5 minutes of your life.
See, that was a reenactment right there. See, they trying to, yeah. But no, I agree with pretty much what everybody else was saying. I mean, really and truly, the reason why relationships look the way that they look now, it is not necessarily just what's in it for me. It's just because there's no value that's placed on a lot of this stuff these days. I mean, I will reiterate what they were saying about the internet and being online. Case in point, a couple months ago, dude finds an internet model, likes what she sees, like what he sees and everything, pays for her to come to his room, and they on vacation somewhere and everything else. She doesn't look exactly like she does on those pictures. He gets upset. He actually made a post about it, shaming her and the fact that she doesn't look like those damn pictures, and kicks her out his room. Now, for one, if I fly you in, we gonna still do what we do, but I still, we'll talk bad about yourself, about, doctoring all your damn pictures. But I mean, if you think about it, everybody is going for something that's fake, man. You know what I mean? And until we stop doing that crap and we start being who it is that we are, I mean, all these relationships just going to continue to get worse. I mean, there's no integrity, no accountability or anything. Nobody wants to stand up for what it is that they do. I mean, I don't have a representative. So if I'm a butthole to you, I guarantee the next time I see you, I'm going to be a butthole. The time after that, I'm going to be a butthole, you know, and everything else, just based on whatever energy I'm getting. I'm going to match that energy, you know, but I'm not going to sit here and be fake with you. If I don't like you, I'll just tell you, I don't like you. I don't want nothing from you. I'm going to be cordial to you just out of respect, and I expect the same thing back. But most people aren't adults, so they're, you know, true adults, so they won't do that in their relationships.
You know what's funny? I didn't know till today. Well, today, my oldest daughter FaceTimed me, and she was like, "Ma, you know you can use filters on FaceTime." I said, "What?" She was like, "Yeah, you know you can use filters on FaceTime." I said, "You can catfish somebody on FaceTime?" She
Yep.
was like, "Oh yeah, definitely."
As long as you don't move around too much.
That I just was like, my whole brain cells was like, I was scratching my head, like, are you? There's a way to be deceptive in everything now.
Like, I don't trust being around a bunch of women that wear a bunch of makeup if I've never seen you with your regular face. There's so many pictures that I've seen.
That's a whole nother show right there.
I understand, but I'm just saying, you know, you catfish people.
We're gonna go out, we're gonna back out gracefully, Effie and Chandra and Mr. Woods. We're gonna bow out gracefully on that one, because my God, listen here. You know,
this was talking about angles when we got on here today, talking about angles.
I said my good side.
I'm saying every side is your good side, baby.
Okay.
Oh my God, here we go.
Here they go, that BS again. Hey man,
but truthfully, very truthfully, you know, when we think about it, and I'll yield the mic over to you in a second, Bruce. But when we really think about this whole concept of what's in it for me, you know, it makes me think about Prince. I don't know if any of y'all know this about him, but y'all probably do. You know, Prince had this very strange fetish when it came to women, where you had to be made up even in your sleep. Have y'all heard about that? Did y'all know that about him? Well, every woman that Prince dated could not go to bed without being fully made up. He had this "what's in it for me," you know, fetish. Like this was what was in it for him. She had to look perfect at all times. And it's funny that, you know, you brought that up, Jason. There's so many challenges with women now that are struggling, and it's not starting in womanhood. It's starting as 10, 11, 12, 13. It is beyond scary. I look at my students. I'm in secondary education on the high school level. I look at them and they come in with full faces of makeup, lashes, fake nails, everything you can imagine. And I just look at them and I go, where are the children? What happened to the children? What happened to just being able to be a child? Now they look like, I mean, I stand next to them and you can't tell whether I'm the student or they the student.
They look like Muppets.
It's scary. It is so scary. Bruce, go ahead.
I wanted to say that Noel Jones was drinking a cup of coffee one morning and he saw his hand shaking. So he decided that he wanted to get married, or that he needed to get married. He recognized his that age was catching up to him. So he wanted that need fulfilled. As far as that woman he married that he was messing with for 30 years, you know, when you got a few coins under the mattress, there's some things you could really get away with when you present some things to some women. If you got a couple coins under the mattress, you can make her come to bed every night made up. Or if you are meeting her needs or taking her places that she has never been, or sharing your platforms, and you have you're anointed and you have this amazing intellect and insight about yourself, but people are screaming your name, and you can kind of hang with that for 30 years with all those needs getting met, especially if that you're dropping that hammer on her for 30 something years, and she can hang on that. She could wait until his hands start shaking and he realized that he needs somebody to marry. Just my opinion on that.
Chandra, how bad Chandra after Doc goes? Go ahead, Doc, and then I'm gonna have Chandra because I see her wheels spinning over there.
But my thing is, when does it stop being about you? Because to me, it has to stop being about me at some point to stay married. Because you have kids, people have issues going on, you have all these different things called life, and eventually it has to stop being about you.
Well, Effie and James said that when we started. That's exactly what they said when we opened up the dialogue about. And I love what they said, Doc, because they brought up something very significant. They brought up the fact that what was acceptable for person A is not necessarily going to be acceptable for person B. So it was no longer just what's in it for me. It's what's in it for us, what's in it for this family we get ready to blend together, what's in it for this future that we're attempting to create. It's going to be a way bigger WIIFM. It's still going to be the what's in it for me. It's always going to be there. That never stops. That's never going to cease, because that's where the dissolved marriages come in. But because somebody is not getting their what's in it for me met.
But sometimes doing for the other get you what you need. And so sometimes there's certain places I go with Sandra, I have to tone it down. I have to be calmer and be polite. I hate every minute of it. But I do it for her, which makes her love me more, which gets her to do for me. So you got to stop thinking about yourself and do for the other. So there's a blended, a compromise, a give and take. And if you just take, the other person gets wore out. And that's when they want to be done.
Go ahead, Chandra.
Yeah, to that point. And, I can still see, even in what you just said, what's in it for me. If I do this for her, then she's going to do this for me. It just changes the, I guess, some of the energy behind it, that it might not be as negative energy in some relationships when people come into it with the what's in it for me, using the proposal as an example. That was all him. That whole proposal was about him. It wasn't about the collaboration of the two of them coming together and moving forward for the greater good of the relationship. It's not what it was about. So even in what you're saying, Doc, I still see what's in it for me. I'm doing this for her to get this in return. That is just human nature. It's transactional relational. This to get this. That's the way we live. So I don't believe that there is a way out of that.
There is no way out of it.
Yes.
There's no way out of it, because you got to think about it. It's a law, reciprocity. Giving and receiving. It's a law behind that. It's not just our human concept of thinking. There's a law behind giving. Even though it's more blessed to give than it is to receive, out of giving comes receiving, period. It's a universal principle and law that is it's in the universe, that if you're giving out energy, whatever energy you're giving out, that energy is going to find its way back to you. Go ahead, Jason.
No, I was just gonna say, you're right. That is a law. What'd you say? I can't ever pronounce that.
Reciprocity.
Thank you. I always have a hard time with that one. But there's also another law when things become transactional like that, and it's called prostitution. So, that's where a lot of these relationships start to go when you're dealing with some of these bad bees and these shot callers and everything else. Everything is so transactional to where there ain't no real love there. Like you said, what's in it for me? So as long as you're doing something for me and you putting me on and you got me looking good as well as looking like eye candy, I'm gonna break you off, a little something. you know, and it's going to go back and forth like that. And it goes both ways. I'm not even talking about just the dudes tricking on.
But how does that cross over into prostitution? Because you didn't took the whole church service all the way out.
I'm just saying, no. I mean, you got to be. It's a thin line there, if you ask me, because it's like, what are you really in there for? Are you in there trying to look for love, but you have a relationship that deals with the, say the word,
reciprocity.
I can't ever say that. Or
with recipe, just call it recipe.
Say, man, I'm just saying, you know, it's like I got defeated by one word. What can I say? But or is it just something to where you like that person, you like what they can do for you, you know you can't and or won't do it for yourself, but yet you find yourself there, and of course you sleeping with this person, traveling with them and everything else. And that one is where, like I said, it goes more towards prostitution. You know what I'm saying? At that point, you just a damn call girl and you just on beck and call, you know, or vice versa if you just a trick or whatever, you know, the John or whatnot. But I mean, like I said, there's a very thin line once you're dealing in that kind of relationship. That's all I was getting at.
Jason, did you ever watch the Boondocks?
Not as much, but no.
Riley says either way you pay. So
I mean, you're going to pay, but I mean, the thing is, what's the intention? Is the intention, are you looking for love or are you looking for what you can get?
It's the same thing, companionship. No matter what that companionship look like, either way. So what are you willing to pay?
Right.
But sometimes you ever seen, you know, this woman, okay, my wife's a 10. Mm-hmm. But you ever seen them 5s, but you met them and start talking to them and stuff they can do for you. All of a sudden they hit up that 6. All of a sudden they make you a sandwich, they that 7. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, they smell good. Now they 8. Now that woman that you would have never dated, now she's on your mind. Mm-hmm. Because what she can do has upgraded her.
True.
You know, so like that. This is why Janet Jackson and Jermaine Dupri got together.
Yeah.
It's back and forth.
Right, but in the long run, when you talk about, hold on a second, hold on 1 second, Mitchell. You can hop right on there. When you think about Jermaine Jackson and when you think about Janet Jackson and Jermaine Dupri, that turned out to be a hot mess, a total hot mess.
I mean, the typical type of stuff, you know. Dude was always in the strip clubs and stuff, and at some point there was a little sharage, you know. But
a little sharage, just a tad bit, huh? Just a tad bit of sharage.
But see, he also told you. I mean, that's one of the challenges when dating somebody who's equally as rich. I mean, you know, they just show up at your door. They hop on a private plane and they there in a few hours. You know what I mean? It ain't the same thing. That's a whole nother.
Another show. That's another show. So Mitchell, hop in.
I was doing it for Chris. He was just trying to.
I mean, I get what JT was talking about as far as like the prostitution thing, but I mean, you know, it's not as organic as it used to be, and that's why a lot of people don't really like. Back then, you didn't know, you know, like Doc said, you know, you met somebody, and then you know they was already like a 7 or 8 or whatever. Now they done turned into a 10 based on what you learned about them, you know, but. People don't want to tell their truth. They lie about it. They hide behind money, credit cards and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if I'm out here and you see me in a foreign and I got on Alexander McQueen's or whatever, you know, I look like I got money now. So that's what some people are attracted to. Now I'm trying to attract somebody that look like one of these chicks that got about 400,000 followers on Instagram. So we get together. What is that about? That was basically about a lie and image, which is probably a lie. You know, that's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like you're right. That's a transaction. I mean, from here on out, it's a transaction. How long can that relationship go on? You know, what's in it for me is I ain't got 400,000 followers, but now with this chick.
No, I did.
Nah, I got 400. Yeah, now everybody looking at me. So it's all image driven.
Go ahead, Effie. I'm sorry, Bruce. Effie's gonna hop in and then you'll hop in after she gets. Go ahead, Effie.
Yeah, I agree with what you guys are saying. But again, I think it goes back to knowing who you are and what you will accept. I mean, because when I met my husband, again, he's my second husband, you know, he was a 10 in my eyes. until we moved in together. We got to know each other, and that score went down. That score went down until I'm like, wait a minute, you know, I'm not going to accept this. I'm not going to do this with you. You can't be talking like this to me. Where he had to do the same thing to me, and we had to actually build that score back up. Now I'm being very transparent here. We had to build, because he was a 10 when I met him, and he dropped down probably to a -5. And I was like, okay, time for a divorce.
Zero.
I told you started trouble
information to me now.
Hey, that's a daily thing when you marry. That's a daily thing.
But we had to build that back up. We really, because when you move in with someone and you actually get to see them take off that makeup, men and women, you get to see them, their true selves. And it's like, yeah, I don't like that part of you. Oh, that's not what I was expecting. Oh, you do that? Oh, you leave the toilet. No, you got to put the toilet seat down because you have to be respectful of the girls in the house. Or, you know, oh, you didn't bring me flowers. Oh, you didn't think about making me coffee when you made yours. Like, just those little things. And you think, okay, that score is starting to go down now. So how do you build up that score? And in a relationship, you have to consistently work on that to, you know, you don't like everything about your partner. You just don't. Let's be real. You don't like everything about your partner. But honestly, at this point in my life, and it being our second marriage, like, I literally adore my husband and adore those things about him. And we are so open and honest that we could come and say, you know what, I didn't like that at that moment. I didn't like the way you said that. I didn't like the way that made me feel. So can we talk about this? Or, you know what, I'm really angry right now. Can we just take a red moment? This red is red for stop, red moment. And let's sit back and let's marinate on this. And then we can come back together to talk about it, discuss it, and then see, even if we have to agree to disagree. But that is what we do. And we had to literally build that meter back up to like each other. And again, now I truly adore my husband. I truly adore him. And I just don't like putting on those airs. And I've even put on Facebook. It may not have gone into detail about what's going on, but if I'm sad or angry, you can see, yep, I'm angry today. Yep, I'm sad today. I may not go into detail, but I'm all about transparency. And I like to be transparent because I want people should live their authentic lives. Accept me for who I am, like me, whether I'm having a good day or a bad day.
Yeah. You know, and it goes right back to what Ms. Koffe said earlier about being transparent. You don't truly know somebody until you find them. And we're so busy looking on the outside of finding everybody else and finding other people, but we never find ourselves. And the problem is self-examination, self-awareness, self-actualization. And that's when life is about progression and progressing forward. And we get into, when you start looking inward, you find out the difference between ego and maturity. And so when you drop the ego and you learn about maturity, then you begin to listen, what's in it for me? How do I bring value into the relationship by listening what my partner wants? How do I take care of her needs? Because taking care of her needs is taking care of my needs. And that's how I find out what's in it for me, because we are one team, one unit. We are one family. And so when I remove myself out of the equation, everybody else benefits because it's no longer about me. It's about all of us. So how do I make her happy? Because when she's happy, then I'm happy. And so what's in it for me? My whole family. That's what's in it for me. That's
good. That's good. And you know what? That makes me think about something when you were talking, Effie, about the numbers going down. They actually don't go down, they actually adjust. If you actually look at a home, people always want to build a home from the ground up. Like, oh, I want to build my house from the ground up. But what they don't realize is after that home is built, it has to settle. When it settles, it actually adjusts. It's the same house you had when you wanted it built. But when that adjustment happens, it's going to move, it's going to shake, and then it's going to settle in to its authenticity, its real authentic state. And from there, you build up whatever it is you're going to build up from there. So it's like the numbers really, he still was a 10. It was just an adjustment to be able to deal with that foundation settling in. Y'all had to settle in to who you were as a unit, not individuals. So that 10 never changed. It was the adjustment that made that difference. And a lot of people don't contemplate that part about there is an adjustment period that happens in every single relationship. And then as you maturate, as you age, there comes other adjustments that have to manifest. Like somebody was telling me not long ago, they said something really funny to me, and I started laughing. They said, talking about stepping into premenopause. And I said, that's funny because you could be that spouse that was always cold. And every time you turn around, you're like, oh, babe, I need another blanket. And now you like taking all the blankets off the bed and he looking like, what in the ham fat? Nah, I ain't got no covers. What's going on? What, you always had 25 covers. Now you done knocked everything off. I don't even have no cover. It's an adjustment. And that's what happens in relationships. If that person never did change, they didn't change being the person that you loved initially. There's adjustments that happen. And that's another thing that people fail to realize and they are not clear on, is that there are going to be so many adjustments on this path that we're taking together that it's going to be mind-boggling. Today, your hair is black. In 10 years, with that copper starts to leave, and guess what? It turns white, and so on and so forth. You were running real fast. And even though you're still exercising, doing everything you need to do, you're not running as fast as you did 20 years ago. Or sometimes people's eyes begin to get dim and they have to get glasses where they could see just clearly 5 years ago. So there's going to always be adjustments when it comes to relationships. So when you talk about that, and I love that you brought that up, James, what's in it for me is about the big picture of us being a family and developing and creating an environment where we can mature together, where we can grow together, where we can thrive together. I'm gonna yield to Bruce in a second, but one thing came to mind before Zig Ziglar passed away. I know y'all are familiar with him. He always called his wife the redhead. And he used to talk about how as they maturated, as they grew, as they started to age together, he would talk about how beautiful she was to him. And he said, no matter how old she got, that same look was in her eyes from when I first met her. And that was that love and that passion that I had from her from day one. When I look in her eyes, those eyes still speak the same thing to me. That mutual love, freedom, and respect in her eyes. And I used to love when he would talk about his wife, because he said, that never changed for me. She would talk about changing and everything else. He said, but no, she's still my gorgeous redhead. But go ahead, Bruce.
That was powerful. I'm gonna say what's in it for me, Koffe. At 53 years old, having been married once, because me, I'm not as put together as my fellow panelists. I'm mentally and I'm emotionally scarred. So when I did a little something with myself, I came to a point where I realized that I wanted a woman that's going to buy into my process. I want a woman that's going to help me to continue to maintain my peace of mind so I can maintain what I have built thus far. I need her to break her back to earn my respect, and her showing me that my vision and my life is first, that she wants to see me win the ring, not her. She wants to see me win that ring. That's how mentally scarred I am. As a Black man, that is what I desire. What do you think about that, Koffe?
You know, that's a coaching session. Go to coffee10k.com and set you up a session. Praise God. Amen. That's a coaching session.
Good luck, brother.
You see me trying to stir her up, Rob, right?
Chandra, would you agree that sound like an 8-week session?
Absolutely. That's why I raised my hand. Absolutely.
That sound like an 8-week. That sound like the 8-week program that we offer.
When you find her, brother, clone her for the rest of us out here, because that's don't what.
Listen, he said the operative word, scarred.
Woo.
That's what he said.
You gonna do all that for me?
Can I do that for you now?
I
Yes,
say,
ma'am.
Bruce, you make sure you put that in your bio so everybody know exactly what you're looking for.
Right. Put it in the top. Like they say in Clubhouse, put that in those first 3 lines.
I feel like if I could provide for her, if I could provide for her the lifestyle she wants, then she got to cheer me till I get the ring, man. She has to be on my program.
Chandra, help him, Chandra.
Okay, so
give him a 15-minute coaching session.
On the other side of that, again, it's this what's in it for me. I call it the high value crap that the world has built now, that, you know, for men looking for women to come carry your bag, and there's nothing that she gets out of that for me to just be provided for. That's not enough. I've been providing for myself. I don't need you to provide for me. So, you know, it can't go that way. You know, this saying, you know, if I pay $1,700 worth of rent and my car note and my bill and all of that before you got here, then I'm not looking for you to provide anything for me so that I can keep living the lifestyle that I'm living. I'm taking care of that already. So that's a very one-sided what's in it for me that you're putting out there. You got to come with some balance for that.
Tell me what you're looking for, sister.
Collaboration that we can build together.
Tell me what you're looking for. I just want to stir this up for a few minutes. Tell me what you're looking for.
Well, I don't know if this is the platform that we're to do that on, but you know, it would.
No, I think Koffe understands what I'm trying to do.
Well, I'm looking for a purpose partner, a person that's going to come alongside me, that we can work together to expand the purpose of both of our platforms. I'm not looking for anyone to provide for me so that I can sustain or so that I can live. No, let's come together. At this age, I'm almost 50 years old. I have enough to bring to the table. You bring what you have to the table, and let's move forward and do something together. That's the nuts and bolts of it.
What's one of the things that we're going to be able to do together?
Oh, business for one. You know, I'm a coach. So what are you bringing to add to my business platform? How do we expand and grow together to build that platform? I'm a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. So what are you bringing to help support me? I'm going to support you. You support me. It's a collaboration. It's not a one-sided, I need you to champion me until I get the ring. No, let's champion each other, because I'm looking for a ring too. So let's champion and push and support each other along that way, along that path. So
who will get the ring first?
It doesn't matter who gets it first. It matters that we're both helping each other get there. It's not a race. I'm not in a relationship to race and compete with my partner. I'm working in a relationship that we get there together. We're supporting each other until we get there, whenever that is. Whoever gets there first, great for you. Hey, let's get the other person there.
Okay, here's my last ignorant question.
We got about two more minutes before we have to start reeling it in.
Okay, but God didn't create me to help you. He created you to help me.
He created us to